Hello, sixth graders. It's Mr. Shear. Today's lesson is on percents and decimals when it's greater than 100% and less than 1%. So we're converting decimals and percents, which you've actually done before, but now we're doing it with numbers that are bigger than 100% and less than 1. So let's just jump on in. But first, your assignment today is going to be a book assignment. It's one page. Page 121, questions 1 through 16. And as you can see, if you look at it here, you'll notice that you're changing percents to decimals and fractions to percents, etc. You're converting decimals, fractions, and percents. So I want you just to look at this number, this 0.2. This is a percent that's less than 1%. It's a decimal of a percent. So if it was 1%, it'd be right here where the 0 is, but it's less than 1%. So the question is, how do you change this tiny percent into a decimal? And I mean a decimal without a percent symbol, just a decimal. And how do you change it into a fraction? Well, if you remember, to change a percent into a decimal, you always move the decimal 2 places to the left. So 1, 2. And you're going to end up with 0.002. You have now successfully changed this decimal of a percent to just a straight up decimal. 0.2% is equal to 0.002. All right, so now if I want to change that into a fraction, I'm going to take that decimal that I've created and change it into a fraction by putting it over its place value and reducing. So remember, tens, hundreds, thousands, so this is 2 over 1,000, or reduced down to 1 over 500. We have now changed 0.2% into both a decimal, 0.002, and a fraction, 1 over 500. Let's see that again. So here's a percent, less than 1, and I want to change it into a decimal. I'm going to move the decimal 2 places to the left. It's going to look like that. I'm going to go 1, 2, and this percent is now a decimal. Okay. What about a percent bigger than 100? Again, move the decimal 2 places to the left. So there's an imaginary decimal here at the end of the 0. And I'm going to move it over 2, 1, 2, and I'm going to get 1.7. This is a percent, 170, and 1.7 is the decimal. How do I change this into a fraction? Well, you can do it a couple different ways. I can put the whole thing over 100. Remember, percents are always out of 100. And that's going to give me 1 and 7/10. Or you can remember that it was 1.7, which is 1 and 7/10. So let's see that again. 250 is a percent. To change it to a decimal, I'm moving it 2 places to the left, 2.5, 1, 2. To 250, to change it into a fraction, I can put it over 100 and reduce. 2 and 50 hundredths, or 2.5. Now again, I expect that this is going to be a little tricky for you guys, so we're actually going to do most of our book assignment today on the meat. Because I expect this to be a little bit tough for you guys. What about a decimal that I want to change into a percent? I want to go the other way. So I got 1.68 as a percent. And to change a decimal into a percent, you move the decimal 2 places to the right. You just go the other direction. So 1.68 is 168%. Again, let's do that again. This is a decimal. I want to change it to a percent. So I'm going to move it 2 spaces to the right. That's 0.75%. Whew, all right, last one, fractions into percents. So you might get a question like this today, right? 1 1/4 as a percent. Well, just remember, don't panic. I know a lot of you guys see fractions and you panic. Don't panic. Just change it into a decimal, and you do that by going 1 divided by 4. It's going to give you 1.25. And then that's a decimal. To change it to a percent, you move it 2 spaces to the right. So it's 125%. That's it. That's what your assignment asks you to do today. As always, you can email me with questions. I will do my best to answer. Also, I think we're going to do a good portion of your assignment on the Google Meet today because I expect this to be a little bit tough for folks. So we'll do some of the assignment today together. But your assignment, just to be clear, is page 121, questions 1 through 16 from your book. As always, answer on the answer key. And also, as always, I hope you have a great rest of your day. Thanks for watching, 6th graders.